everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last episode, making an EVA foam Mace of Azog Part 1, you saw us prepare all the pieces for the head of the mace. The center tubular section, the little tapered back piece, and you saw us carve out all of the tapered, stone carved fins that are going to attach to the top of the mace for popping heads. So far so good and really easy. And now in this episode, making an EVA foam Mace of Azog Part 2, we're going to attach the fins to the head of the mace. We're going to fabricate the whole shaft and the leather handle piece. And you're going to see us put an inner support inside this whole handle going up into the head. So we've got stability on the whole prop. And it's going to be just as easy as everything we've done so far. So if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Okay, now what we've done is we've mathematically figured out how far to space each of the 5 of those spines that's going to go around the head, and we have this marked off. It's a template that we made, so we're going to wrap this around, and now every place where there's a little gray line we're going to make a mark. Alright, now starting at the seam we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to do it a second time. Now we can come in with our edge. Now we know exactly where each one of our pieces needs to go. Very cool. All right, now what we need to do is this. Here's our next step, which is kind of interesting. This is a straight line. This is a curved line. So we need to shape the same curve on the back of this piece as we have here so that these go together seamlessly and attach. And we'll show you a little trick for doing that. Okay, now check this out. We have this dowel. We've got an 80 grit piece of sandpaper. Now this dowel right here is the same diameter almost as this. So what we're going to do is this. This is really cool. We're going to wrap this around real tight just like this. And we're going to come in here and we are going to hit right in the middle here. Okay, now see what we're doing? We're slightly adding a curve to it. See that right in there? Now we're just going to keep going. Okay, now we're going to come in with a smaller diameter. We're going to use this piece of PVC pipe. We're going to wrap this around here real tight, like that. Now we're going to come in and we're going to get in there. Oh my gosh, look at that. That fits right on there perfectly. See how easy that was? Very nice, very nice. All right, so now we're gonna do that same technique through these other 4. Wow, holy cow. Whew, man, exhausted. That takes elbow grease right there. So what we did was we started off wrapping our sandpaper around a dowel the same size as this, which doesn't do a whole lot, and then we went down to a slightly smaller PVC pipe and wrapped it, and that did a little bit more, but then we came down to an even thinner version. Look at all that, wow. And we wrapped the thin version, and wrapping the much thinner version really gets a nice valley down in the middle. So there we go, we've got all 5 of them done. All right, now we're going to heat seal these. Really tightens it up. Very nice, just a slight curve there so that it goes right on there flush. Very nice, all right. All right, let's clean up. Okay, now here's our wood dowel we're gonna use for our handle, and we have some marks on there. See that? This right here is where we're gonna cut it, because this is going to slide through here, right up to this line right here. Right to there. And then right about here, right about to there, is where our hole goes up inside. Okay, there we go, just like that. Now this is gonna slide through here, right to there, just like that. But before we do that, we're gonna bring this 6mm piece of foam in, and we are going to wrap this back end of the dowel. All right, time to attach it. So we're gonna come in, there we go. All right, tack it down. All right, there we go. See that? It's tacked down, perfect. Now what we did too, when we cut this strip out, we've talked about this before, when you're gonna wrap something and the two sides are gonna come around and meet, it's a good idea to cut a slight little bevel. So what we did on the edge of this is we tipped our knife, we just tipped our knife a little bit when we made our cuts. So the end is just, instead of the ends being flush this way, they're slightly tipped. So when they come around and they touch, it'll make good contact. So there we go. All right, here we go. Now we just begin rolling. So we're gonna get it started just like this. Use your thumbs in the middle and your fingers on the back of it. You just roll it. Okay, just like that. See that? How we're slightly rolling it. Now we're closing it up by wrapping it right around the dowel. See that? Getting more wrapped. Now, all right, see that? How we just touched them together on the edge? Now we're just gonna come down each step of the way, and we're gonna pinch our seam together. All right, there we go. Not bad. It's not completely perfect, but look at that. That's pretty darn tight. Pretty darn. All right, there we go, just like that. We've got a little bit around there, and we've got a little bit around the edge. Now when that dries, and we get ready to slide it in, we'll add our second technique to it. Okay, here we go. Now what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna come in, we're going just like that. See that? Wow, that's a lot. All right, there we go. Now we didn't do it all the way down, and this is why. We're gonna come in now, we're gonna slide it in, spinning it the whole way so it stays wet. We're getting the inside walls wet. Look at that. We're gonna pinch down all the way around. All right, there we go, check that out. It's not the cleanest looking thing in the world, but we're gonna be covering that, so it doesn't matter. What we wanted was the shape. Wow, that is the shape right there. There's the handle, there's the end, look at that. Now, what's gonna happen is the wet contact cement on the inside, eventually the moisture content in the contact cement will dry and they will be stuck together on the inside. So there we go, super cool. And we got our little end cap on there. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and we're gonna start sticking these down. Yeah, all right. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in, we're going to trace around our handle, just so we know we have the exact dimension we need. And then that little line is where our seam is going to go. And we're going to stand the knife up, and we're going to follow right around the inside of our Sharpie line. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Give it a few minutes. It's dry now. We're gonna line up the little mark we made with the seam. Just like that. All the way around. Try to flush our seam if we can. Now we're covered off with foam. Now we're gonna put our dust mask on. We're gonna come in with the Dremel and we're gonna round this edge off right here. All right, there we go. Slight round edge. Very nice. Okay, here we go. Now what we're gonna do is this. Okay, here's our handle. This is where our little piece of foam is gonna wrap around to look like a leather handle. But then this end right here and this piece are gonna look like wood grain. Now it's gonna be wrapped with cord, but in between the cord you're gonna see some of the wood grain. So what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna make a nice long cut and we're gonna simulate wood grain. So it's gonna come in. There you go, just like that. Barely breaking the surface. We're not going deep. All right, there we go. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in with the heat gun. All right, check that out. Wow, look at the cool wood grain in there. Just enough to be noticeable as wood grain. That is cool. All right, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna do the same thing on the handle, on the large part of the handle. All right, there we go. Look at that. That is cool. All right. Wow, this thing's turning out cool. Okay. We've got our handle cemented, we've got our wrap. Give it a few minutes. There we go. All right, there we go. We just pinch it together like that. All right, there we go. We pinched it together. Okay, there we go. We've got our leather wrap on there. Super easy stuff. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna begin wrapping twine around this at some point. It's gonna go around the handle, it's gonna go around the grips, and we're gonna bulk it up in some spots so it's higher in some spots. But we'll do that, that'll probably be the last step we do, but there we go. All right, now we're gonna begin attaching our pieces to the top end, just like that. And this will be really easy. We've got all of our spots marked. All right, there we go. There's the first one. Really easy. Just give it a little bit of time to dry and then bam, contact. All right, here we go. Really easy. We're just gonna line it up at the top. All right, we're gonna come down, we're gonna line it up with our Sharpie lines. Looks like we're right on it. And then we're going to come in here. We're gonna put pressure down right there so that we get flush contact with the body, just like that. A lot of pressure. Get the heck out of here. Look at that. Wow. All right. Now we're just gonna come in. We're gonna do them one at a time. Cool. Wow. All right, now before we seal this, we've got a little bit of an imperfect seam here. So we're gonna come in with our Dremel and we're gonna smooth a little bit of that out first. All right, beautiful. Wow, that is smooth now. Very cool. All right, now we're gonna seal it real quick. All right, now what we're gonna do is this. Now before we seal this, we're gonna come into these three sections, here, here, and here. And we're gonna mask them off with our blue painter's tape, because when we seal this with Plastidip, we don't want these three places covered. We want raw foam. All right, there we go. Check it out. Covered with several layers of Plastidip. See that? We've got raw foam here, here, and around this whole section right up here. And that's because now, after we finish painting this, we're going to start wrapping our twine. And these three sections we're going to use to anchor it. All right. Look at that, man. This thing is looking cool. All right. All right, that was it. Nice and easy. You saw how simple that was. We attached all the fins to the end part of the mace. We went ahead and used a wood dowel and we wrapped it so that it has support inside the shaft. We added on the extra little piece for the leather grip, and you saw how we left a little piece of wood dowel sticking out of the shaft so we could go up inside the head, so the whole thing's got really good support. And you saw how we masked off 3 pieces on the handle so that after we're done sealing with Plastidip, it had raw foam, not sealed foam. We needed raw foam in these sections so that when we're done painting it, we can use the raw foam to stick the twine to the handle and it'll be adhered on there super strong. And that was it. Man, this is a super easy build. So that concludes making an EVA foam Mace of Azog Part 2. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.